Welcome back to 30 at 6. Cecil TV was at last week's legislative meeting where the topic at hand was whether to enact phased-in rate hikes for people and businesses who use the county's water and sewage systems. We took note of a comment provided by citizen Ken Wiggins, and we invited him here to the studio to hear a little bit more about it. Ken, thanks so much for being here.
My pleasure, Angela.
Tell us a bit about yourself.
Well, I'm retired. I've lived in the county for, since the 70s. I don't remember how many years that is, but, I was in the Air Force. I retired in '06, and so I've been sort of active in the county since I retired. I have time on my hands, and so I'm active with the library. I'm on the library board of trustees, and I was on the planning commission at one time. And I'm interested in my community, and I care about it. So.
Okay. It seems like County Council is poised to approve the amended sewer rate plan. The increases are modest in the first 2 years, but become more significant in the third year. And delays over time suggest that people who are impacted by the rate increases do not view them favorably. But you seem to take a different take. Can you explain that?
Well, I sympathize with them. I mean, it is a big bite, and I think part of the problem is we've been kicking the can for about 30 years on this. If we had made modest adjustments throughout, we wouldn't have this problem. And so we're suffering right now from many, many years of neglect from our county leadership, I guess. We have I think it's a $3.2 million deficit budget hole. That we have to kind of somehow try to figure out how to pay that off.
Right.
And I believe the county executive has put forward at least two proposals that I'm aware of, and the details of how much and who pays and so on vary from plan to plan.
Right.
But the bottom line, at least to me, is that what's overlooked, and let's face it, wastewater fees are not a very sexy subject, so most people sort of tune it out. And most of those people who are tuning it out don't realize they're paying for it.
Right, yeah.
I did the math, and I'm assuming there are about 67,000 taxpayers in the county, divided into 3.2 million. It turns out that's about $50 a person. Every single taxpayer is on the hook for about $50.
Right.
Each of the 6,000 customers of the wastewater management program essentially gets on an average a $500 subsidy. So, when I moved into my house, I had to dig a well that cost a lot of money. I'm still paying for it, sort of, if you amortize it over the last 30 years. I have a septic system that I have to get pumped out every year.
Right.
Do I get a subsidy? Is somebody going to give me some money to pay for all that? So it's a service that some people get it, and this is based on something called the Enterprise Fund, which says this service should pay for itself, much like your waste management, the landfill. It has to pay for itself, and so it hasn't been paying for itself, and so somebody has to pay, and that's the taxpayer. And there are other issues as well. It's sort of poor management practice. So the bankers that we do business with are taking a look at it, and they're saying, gee, this doesn't look like a very smart way to run your county. This may affect your interest rates. This may affect your bond rating. And I'm sort of interested in that topic as well. And so it's not only the fact that the taxpayers are subsidizing the folks getting the services. They're getting a service for their money. But also this could have an impact. We could pay even more for our when we borrow money.
Right.
And so that's the long and short of it for me. So
we're seeing changes in Cecil County at what seems like a rapid rate. We have new businesses, new parks, new infrastructure all around us.
Yes.
As an involved citizen, what does progress look like in Cecil County?
Well, that's what it looks like to me. The fact that we do have we suffered. After 2008, we had a long slump there where we couldn't give our county employees raises. We really had to pinch pennies, and we had to borrow from the rainy day fund to get by, and all those kinds of issues. a little story. On the library, we lost one of our librarians to the Little Sisters of the Poor. They outbid us, at one point.
Wow.
That's how bad it had gotten. So I think we've recovered from that. We're in a time of relative prosperity. It's a good time to invest. It's a good time to build. So I think that's where we are, and I think those are investments for the future. This isn't going to last forever, and the timetable that's been laid out that said, well, we'll do the modest increases for the next 2 years and then see what happens in the third year. Well, by then we could all be in a recession or something,
right.
And so I don't know that I think it helps that they're willing to take a few baby steps, but I still believe that we're kind of kicking the can here. We haven't really come up with a good solution. So I like my county. I offered another example to somebody. In Newcastle County, they have a program where they reassess housing prices. Well, they haven't done anything since I think the 1980s. There has been no reassessment. So I have an old house on this corner of this block, and I pay, let's just say, $100 a month for taxes.
Right.
You have a new house at the other end of the block. It's brand new, and it's been assessed at a much higher price. So you pay $800
Wow.
a month. This is the problem in Newcastle County.
Right.
They've been kicking the can in that sense. Here in Cecil County, we don't do that. I think it's on every 3 years everybody gets reassessed, and so we have a sort of a rolling adjustment
Right.
that keeps up with things, and we don't have a problem. But this is one of those areas where we do have a problem because we have ignored it.
Right.
So
Right. Well,
that's my assessment.
Every county has its growing pains.
Sure.
Well, we will see what the county council decides on September 4th.
Sure. Yeah.
Thanks
Looking forward.
so much for being here.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.